I mean, are you kidding? So the step back from 40 feet, because why not? Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors lead the way by 21 at halftime. Over the Pacers, our Jared Greenberg is on hand, and he just caught up with Steph.
Steph, ending a long road trip, Coach Kerr said tonight had the potential to be a letdown game. Then you came out and hit your first 8 shots, and then that dramatic buzzer beater. You seem to be on a mission tonight.
Yeah, we're playing aggressive, trying to make simple decisions, and then good shots happen. Obviously, they're better when they go in the basket, for sure.
You had another Shaq in a full moment. What happened on the sideline?
A loose shooting shirt got in the way, but don't take away from Klay's beautiful dunk.
To be fair, Shaq has made his bias toward Stephen Curry abundantly clear. He's not going to be on Shaqtin' a Fool. He's not going to be the Shaqtin' a Fool MVP, though he's had a couple of moments in the last week that I feel like could take the cake.
He has. Got to mix in some misses once in a while.
Every now and then.
Have that many mates.
That's what makes him so lovable. Hey, everybody. Welcome back into our NBA TV studios. It's game night. I'm Kristen Ledlow alongside our Derek Fisher, David Griffin. Now, we're going to be with you guys until the third quarter in Indiana between the Pacers and Warriors. Then we're going to be back in the studio. You may be in the film room leading up to the second of our doubleheader on NBA TV. The Hawks are in L.A. to take on the Clippers. When Steph is shooting like that, what can be done? Fish.
I don't think there's an answer for it. The spacing that is improved, actually, with Boogie Cousins on the floor, and I know Griff has shown some of that. The floor gets wider, more open, more driving lanes. Talked about how many easy baskets they've gotten tonight. Well, that's not by accident. The way Steph and Klay move without the basketball, you saw their Cousins creating additional possessions by banging the offensive boards. These are things that it makes it almost impossible to guard these guys. And then obviously without Oladipo, Tyreek Evans, the Pacers are struggling to put points on the board on the offensive end as well.
You talked a lot in that first half, and we've talked a lot behind the scenes about what DeMarcus Cousins brings to this Warriors lineup. Of course, it's obvious to look at the statistical impact he can have, both on the boards and, of course, his scoring ability. But do you see his playmaking ability as what's most valuable?
Oh, for sure. And you can see them here. Everything that they do to split off of Boogie, the attention he draws in terms of the defense collapsing on him. They run all of their guard split action, right? So it used to be that Draymond Green was the passing big. But Draymond Green's not going to be the guy you fear shooting that three. So what happens is the defense is so keenly aware of him, it starts to open up everybody else a little bit more as well. So in addition to the fact that Boogie himself can shoot, Boogie, when he draws attention, is such a good passer. And they're so amped up right now. They're playing with so much attention to detail that everything they do off the ball is getting rewarded right now.
You've been on championship teams. You've orchestrated championship teams. At this point in this season for the Warriors, as they're looking to three-peat, as they're looking to improve upon a season-high 10-game winning streak, what do you see as perhaps cause for concern? Is this the only team that could beat themselves?
Well, to me, great teams are always in a class by themselves in terms of, yes, they can only beat themselves. Right. It's not as much about the opponent. I think this team is an example of that for sure. Cause for concerns if we're nitpicking. I think will continue to be the turnover area will be one to watch. They have to keep that number down. And I think too, as you saw to start the game in the first quarter, Boogie Cousins is going to be asked to defend a lot of screening situations in terms of on pick and rolls as well as guards coming off of screens. That'll be an area that the Warriors will have to watch out to make sure they protect him and don't put him in too many bad situations.
And we talked about it pregame a little bit heading into it. Since Boogie started playing, all of the Warriors' defensive closeout numbers are radically better. They were all around a point per possession before, and now some of them are below half a point per possession, right? So they're all revved up. But Boogie's own individual number is still very poor. So what you're going to see over time is that they'll start to attack him, like you said, in pick and roll. And then when the novelty of all of this wears off and guys aren't quite as amped up anymore because they're not trying to prove it can work, what's it look like then? On a night when they're not covering for what he doesn't do defensively, How's that look? It'll be interesting to see. Right now, we're clearly in a honeymoon period.
Well, I asked you to nitpick, and you did. When they win 10 in a row, and they've won the last 2 championships, and they're up 21 at half, and we've got to put together a halftime show.
By the way, I got the blue memo.
I know. You
This
guys,
is
we look
strong.
good. I know. I didn't want to mention it too soon, but we look good. All right. After the break, we're going to talk about the biggest news in basketball. It's Anthony Davis. All-NBA forward Anthony Davis has informed the New Orleans Pelicans that he won't sign a contract extension and he wants to be traded. He is eligible for a 5-year Supermax extension this summer worth $240 million, and he'll become a free agent in the summer of 2020. Davis' agent Rich Paul has said he wants to be traded to a team that gives him a chance to win consistently, a chance to compete for a championship. Hey everybody, welcome into our NBA TV studios. It's game night. I'm Kristen Ledlow. He's Derek Fisher. We're going to be joined by, can we call it an all-star ensemble cast?
Yes, we can.
I think we can. In our humble opinion, it is. And for the next 8 weeks, right? Yeah, 8
weeks.
Every single Monday, right here on NBA TV, we're going to be on the court, in the film room, calling the games. But right now, the biggest news in basketball is where Anthony Davis lands. And how soon could this trade potentially happen?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the news of the year so far. I mean,
Yeah.
LeBron was the news of the summer. We thought Jimmy Butler maybe would be the big news, but Anthony Davis has taken over with this request. And, how soon it happens, the Pelicans really are in the driver's seat as far as that goes. I know there's a lot of fuss over the Lakers and the tampering and the Pelicans with wanting to have an investigation, but they're in the driver's seat. And what deal they're willing to accept for this caliber of player, we'll see.
Right. Explain that to me then. If you have the power, you have the player.
Correct.
He doesn't play for the Lakers. You can trade him for anything, anywhere, correct?
That is correct.
Just clearing it up. Just wanted to clear it up. So in 7 seasons with the Pelicans, Davis has averaged 24 points, 10 rebounds. He's been named an All-Star 5 times and to the All-NBA First Team 3 times. And in his playoff appearances in 2015 and 18, somehow, D-Fish, he's been even better. This is a guy who simply needs to be in an organization surrounded by other players he can win with?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate when you look at his resume, what he has accomplished, what he does on a nightly basis. The points, of course, jump off the board, his ability to shoot the basketball, but his rebounding and his shot blocking, having been the NBA leader 3 different times in terms of shot blocking. To me, that's really what makes him different than almost any other player in the league right now. Purely dominant on both ends of the floor. And whoever does end up with him is going to be very fortunate to
Whoever, wherever, whenever, we'll see. It's game night on NBA TV. We're probably going to say it a whole lot of times because we've got a doubleheader starting with the Warriors in Indiana to take on the Pacers, followed by the Hawks in LA to play the Clippers. So before we get you guys to that game, we want to check in with the Warriors. They're talking about the state of the season and their ultimate goal of winning 3 in a row. I think, to say the least, right? Tip-off in Indiana between the Warriors and Pacers is minutes away, followed by the second of our doubleheader between the Hawks and Clippers just after 10:30 Eastern. We'll be with you all night long. This is a team that not only wins 10 in a row, but they're looking to win 3 championships in a row. D-Fish, can anybody stop them?
The short answer is no.
Yeah.
When you are operating and have operated at the level that they have, the only team that can stop them is them.
Well,
so we'll see if that actually happens.
We're going to be back with a whole lot more of this. But for now, as promised, more of our all-star ensemble cast. Ready to call the game. Casey Stern, Candace Parker, Steve Smith. Take it away.
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. Welcome inside what we are calling the NBA TV Lounge. We are here for Game Night Monday. We're very, very excited. Ro Parrish is going to join us later on. He'll be at our resident bar.
I like
serving
that.
only
I like
Shirley
that.
Temples, so it's fine. But having information from social media, you guys will get involved during the show. Also, in the film room, our resident GM, David Griffin, is there. We're going to take you inside, give you all sorts of different, not only analysis, but give you an opportunity to see things a different way. As I've got my crew every Monday night, Smitty, and my NCAA partner, Candace Parker. The Pacers have not seen things the same way the last couple of days, obviously, because now Vic is out for the season. Candace, when you look at this team, how do you internally in that room try your best to move forward and not let it kind of hamper you as you go?
Well, the Indiana Pacers, they've been without Victor Oladipo earlier in the season for 11 games. And during that stretch, you know, they were 7-4. So they've played without him in the past, but where they're really going to miss him is in the closing minutes. I mean, he was really their offensive person where they could throw the ball to him and just go get a bucket. So it's really going to be more of a combined effort, blue-collar work, obviously on the defensive end, pick up the pace a little bit. But I'd like to see them feature Miles Turner. He's shooting outstanding from beyond the arc, shooting nearly 50% in the last 22 games. And I'd really like to see them feature Miles Turner more and get him in the offense early.
Yeah, I don't want to make Smitty feel old, but we'll talk a lot about Sabonis tonight because he's been one of the more improved players in the league. Boogie, we knew that he would at some point come into the team. What have you seen so far, Smitty? And I know we're not going to get Draymond tonight. He's resting, so it's not full throttle. What have you seen so far with Boogie?
Well, I'm looking at this Super Friends team. They just threw in another action hero, and this action hero is doing what the Golden State do. He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can score. And what I love about him, he's a little nasty down there. Now they have somebody else to go with Draymond Green, and you look at their assist numbers, it's going way up. For me, is the only thing about the Warriors, you got to nitpick. If they can complete their turnovers and keep them down and also try to generate more turnovers, they're going to be hard to beat.
All right, we're hard to beat because we got our own resident Will Hunting. There he is. David Griffin, who's hooking us up with knowledge beyond what we see and you see at home. So, Griff, take us through kind of Boogie and what you've seen so far in the numbers.
So I think like Steve said, obviously there's a potential for this to be special offensively. And we've seen several situations where it has been, and certainly the numbers bear that out. But what's more interesting to me has been the impact he's had on their defense. And I think this surprised people a little bit. You see how much more defensively oriented they are when Boogie's on the floor. The numbers when he's on the floor versus off the floor, they're revealed. And you're going to see very similar numbers in other categories as well. This is where you really see the biggest impact. It's that their closeout urgency is significantly greater now with Boogie present. You're seeing them have a far greater impact as closeout defenders. So the number on the left is the effectiveness of the offense against a Kevin Durant closeout since Boogie was there. The number on the right was what they were doing before Boogie got there. So the offenses were infinitely more productive against the closeouts of all four of the big stars prior to Boogie's arrival, and everything has changed because of their effort level, and we have some film built around that here as well.
Griff, we'll have plenty from you as the night wears on. Thank you, Second Spectrum, with the information. As we look at
this video here shows exactly what we were talking about relative to closeout urgency. Watch how little urgency there is defensively when this ball gets swung to the wing. Smitty, you'd make that shot right now today. That green area means open shot. That's a made shot in the NBA. And because of Second Spectrum, we have the ability to actually identify what would be a red area as well. There's not going to be any red area here. Pick anybody that should have rotated to that prior to Boogie's arrival, and they just didn't play with that level of urgency. What you see here now, though, it's all different. Everybody is very much engaged. Everybody's going to lock up and be in a much more aware situation. All 5 defenders for Golden State at some point will be in the red zone here. They will all be closing and all charging after shots. This is something totally different for Golden State at this point.
Would you have made that shot, Smitty?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't have to go up and down.
I'm just making sure, because, I mean, he was giving you the credit. I know Candace could have.
Shoot or shoot, no matter what.
Shooter's Paradise, 3D Lifestyle brand. This on game night sets us up for possible number 11, Boogie and company, trying to continue a streak. The Pacers trying to stay in the playoff hunt.